Welcome back. Now, last week, Kenya introduced the world's toughest plastics ban. Today, Scotland has announced it plans to follow the Scandinavian model and introduce a deposit return scheme for bottles and cans. But is it government's responsibility or individuals to try to change the way we all behave? Well, the notion of the conscious consumer has certainly gained traction. People ensuring their fish is sustainably caught or their coffee cup is recycled. We all know people like that. But is that the right approach, or is it just making us all feel better about ourselves? Well, let's discuss that for the next few minutes. I'm joined by Alden Wicker, a freelance journalist and sustainability expert from our New York studios. And here in London, the studio with me is Jessi Baker, and she's the founder of the social enterprise Provenance, a platform that enables consumers to determine how and where products are actually sourced. Welcome to both of you onto the programme. I'll get you to both make your cases, first of all. Alden, is this the job of governments or all of us as individuals?
You know, when I think that we tell consumers that it's their job, we put a lot of responsibility on them that, you know, they're not experts. It's a lot of extra work on top of just living their lives. And I think that it's been shown pretty much definitively that it's not working. All of the negative side effects of consumerism continue to run unabated unless the government steps in and makes puts in a system to deal with it or makes whatever it is illegal.
Jessi, not working. Simple as that.
I mean, I agree to a certain sense. I think it is government's job to come in and help us reinforce and be more conscious consumers. But I also think that doesn't mean we shouldn't make efforts ourselves as individuals to act like citizens and not consumers, and help make more conscious choices that can also help inform government about the changes we want to see.
Tell me more then about Provenance, how you do it, what you're aiming at, how it's used.
Great, sure. So we're a platform, we work with businesses and we help them open up information about their supply chains. So for us, we're all about making information accessible and also trustworthy through the supply chain. We bring that information also to shoppers at the point of sale through the retailers we work with, but also that data can be used to help inform voluntary sustainability standards or even policy. So at the moment, we're doing a project with the Soil Association Organic, helping them digitize their certification through the supply chain.
Alden, you say it doesn't work, but if you look at the Bangladesh, the clothing industry there, you had some terrible tragedies over the last few years. It was individual consumers that actually started to make decisions that ultimately made the manufacturers get together. Only recently, a couple of months ago, signed a new accord that sorted out so many of the working conditions. So perhaps it can work.
You know, I think that's a really interesting point to make because when it comes to consumer pressure, there's a lot of fashion companies that are making decisions completely independent of what consumers think. So, for example, if you take the fact that rayon viscose is a fabric that's made from often from endangered indigenous rainforests. Yes, it actually comes from trees. There's a lot of fashion companies that are making big moves to make sure that their fabric is rainforest free. Now, if you ask 100 people on the street what rayon viscose is made of, or did they know that rayon viscose or any of their fashion is made from the rainforest, 100 of those people would say, I had no idea. Maybe one of them would know, but none of them would reach out to the fashion companies to say, hey, this is a real problem. Can you do something about it? The reason why these fashion companies are taking steps is because the people within them see this as a problem. They're working with experts or nonprofits who have this as a core interest, and then they're trying to make decisions to mitigate these effects. They're not doing it because consumers...
Let me put that point to Jessi. I mean, you're right in saying that, you know, all of us can have an impact. I gave you a few examples in the introduction, but actually some of the bigger things, it is just too big for individuals, as Alden was saying.
Yeah, no, I agree, but that's where I think it isn't just about individual choices to try and empower businesses to be, you know, reduce waste or make one better sourcing decision. I think we need to try and put pressure on companies to be more transparent in general and to use new technologies in order to be able to make that transparency trustworthy. And I think through that, we can start to engage government and make larger changes.
It's not about, I said in the introduction, is it about just middle class people trying to make them feel better about themselves?
I mean,
an element of that, perhaps, is there?
I don't think it's bad that sustainability is becoming the new luxury. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think that's necessarily the way we're going to solve climate change.
Well, Jessi Baker, thanks so much for coming in. Alden Wicker, we have to leave it there, but thanks for you and your time there in New York.